Universal basic income was a topic of discussion quite a bit during the Democratic primaries, and it was because a Democratic candidate, Andrew Yang, kept bringing up the necessity of $1,000 a month for every American just so they can have some economic stability. Now, whether you agree with that proposal or not, keep in mind that now there are Republican lawmakers who are pushing for universal basic income. We're about to have a discussion about whether or not it makes sense in this economic fallout due to the coronavirus. Now, according to the Washington Post, a growing number of conservatives are voicing concerns about the Trump administration's proposed payroll tax cut, with two lawmakers specifically, these are Republicans, Senators Mitt Romney and Tom Cotton, calling for the federal government to instead send checks to Americans across the country. In fact, in one Medium post, Tom Cotton wrote the following: "Let's cut out employers as the middlemen and get relief to people not in weeks but in days. We should send relief directly to American families most likely to be in need, those in the bottom and middle tax brackets, to pay for rent, groceries, childcare, and other necessary expenses, as well as to spend at local businesses that are hurting during this crisis." So Tom Cotton also talked about this on Fox News. Let's take a quick look at that video.
Most of the measures in this bill are something that the senators will support, I believe, such as, for instance, waiving co-pays for testing or ensuring that states have adequate resources. But we worry that the bill is setting up a new and complicated system relying on businesses giving paid sick leave and then getting a refundable tax credit that won't move quickly enough and could put pressure on those businesses to lay workers off. We don't want to see layoffs. We want to see people who are at home, if they have any reason to be at home, supported immediately. This is an emergency measure that only needs to last for a few weeks if we all take the prudent steps necessary. That's why I think we want to use systems like, say, Treasury refunds to anyone who paid taxes in 2018, or our unemployment system or other social welfare agencies that are set up to quickly get cash into the hands of affected workers and their families.
So I'm in favor of directly helping US workers as opposed to immediately thinking about ways to bail out the airline industries and all that. We're seeing a lot of that from the Trump administration. But Nando, I'm gonna go to you first. What are your thoughts on this? And do you think that this is gonna hurt Democrats? Because the people voicing support for this loudly are Republicans.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the obvious immediate move is to just get cash in the hands of people. I mean, I don't know that we've all kind of internalized just how serious this situation is. It's literally unprecedented. All economic activity is gonna stop, or the vast majority of it. We haven't seen anything like this ever, really. So getting cash in the hands of people now is the obvious right move. I mean, and it's fairly easy for the federal government to do. They can send checks through the Social Security Administration or however, there's millions of ways for them to do it. I mean, I think the key with any UBI proposal is whether it's tied to, it's coupled with something like a rent moratorium and things like that, because, and a mortgage moratorium and student loan moratorium, because if you just give people $1,000 and then that money just goes straight to rent and that money goes to landlords, as you said, like the biggest landlords in this country right now are like BlackRock and Blackstone, these giant financial firms. So if you don't want it to just be a huge transfer to these companies, like you couple it with rent moratorium, mortgage moratorium, student loan moratorium, all these things, so that this money goes to living your life, like feeding your family, like the basic necessities of life. That's where it needs to go. And it's the obvious move. And the fact that Democrats are resisting it or not really embracing it. I mean, some are. I mean, Ilhan Omar is putting out her own proposal and things like that. But it's the obvious move, and it's urgent. Like they should do this immediately.
So real quick, Francesca, hold that thought, because I want to go to this quick video of Steve Mnuchin. He addressed the notion of UBI in the midst of this whole pandemic, and a surprising statement from him. Let's take a look.
The president and I worked on a very significant economic stimulus plan. We look forward to having bipartisan support. We're now working with the Senate to pass this legislation very quickly. And these will be payments to small businesses. We've also talked about a stimulus package to the American worker. You can think of this as something like business interruption payments for the American workers.
When you say a stimulus package for American workers, do you mean direct payments to Americans, or are you talking about a payroll tax holiday?
Although the president likes the idea of the payroll tax holiday, I will tell you what we've heard from many people, and the president has said we can consider this. The payroll tax holiday would get people money over the next 6 to 8 months. We're looking at sending checks to Americans immediately. And what we've heard from hardworking Americans, many companies have now shut down, whether it's bars or restaurants. Americans need cash now, and the president wants to get cash now. And I mean now, in the next 2 weeks.
How much?
I will be previewing that with the Republicans. There's some numbers out there.
It really does take the possibility of Trump not getting reelected for the Trump administration to consider helping the average American worker.
Yeah, I mean, well, you just look at that whole scene and you're like, man, this crisis couldn't have happened to like a worse group of people. Like this gaggle of idiots. Like it's like me being like, all right, cat, just like asking my cat to like land a plane. I don't know, like, or like, look at them. They're all so unprepared, and they are unprepared when it comes to the economy. They are. And let me just say about Tom Cotton, man. If Tom Cotton tomorrow says he likes chocolate, stop eating chocolate immediately. Whatever Tom Cotton wants, do the exact opposite. There's something in the chocolate, all right? I'm serious. Tom Cotton is living on the wrong side of history. He was born on the wrong side of history, okay? The whole thing, and this is the thing that annoys me the most. UBI absolutely and coupled with a stronger social safety net, like people like Warren and Sanders have proposed, is fine. UBI without any social safety net is absolutely a right-wing dream come true. Milton Friedman, the grandfather of neoliberal economics, wanted UBI too. Why? Because it's basically just a payoff of American workers to get them off your back. And notice how right now we are cutting food stamps. Food stamps have been cut. Suddenly we want to give $1,000 or whatever it is to people. Like, no, why don't you just expand food stamps and then we'll all get on it, put that money into like a food stamp program so people who are not on it suddenly get $1,000 at Costco or wherever it is, you know? Like, why not do that? But it is a non-structural workaround in order to bide time.
Yeah, Richard Wolff talks about this a lot actually, because I agree. If you have this comprehensive economic reform where you really do have a robust social safety net, you have affordable housing, you have the ability to put food on the table for your kids, and then on top of that, you have this universal basic income, cool. But Richard Wolff talks about how in a capitalistic society, especially late stage capitalism, UBI is often thought of as a way to do the bare minimum to prevent a working class uprising.
Yeah, no, totally. Absolutely. I mean, like all those things are 100% true. I think the nature of this crisis, in which all economic activity is halting.
Yes.
It's not because of like there's a financial crisis. It's that you literally cannot go to a store. You can't go to work. Like it's a very specific kind of crisis in which something needs to be done. Obviously, like it needs to be coupled with all kinds of payment moratoriums so that costs for the average person go down. But you need to sort of keep people afloat somehow in the immediate term, and the sort of checks to American families is the most immediate way to do it in the short term.
I'm like,
but
they
that's
can't
the problem.
Even get testing out. Like, in 2 weeks, are we also going to get like a test for COVID-19?
Well, hopefully, but they can send checks.
$1,000 on top.
Well, they send Social Security checks to people every month. They could expand that easily to anyone. So the other thing is like what you're talking about, like cutting food stamps and all that stuff. The problem with something like the payroll tax holiday, which again, like they mentioned, goes into effect 6 to 8 months. If you cut the payroll tax, that's what funds Social Security.
Exactly.
And what they're lining up to do is cut the payroll tax, defund the Social Security trust fund, and then a couple years from now, when we're like more or less recovered,
I'm really glad.
and then they're gonna be like, oh, Social Security, gotta cut it,
I'm so glad you mentioned that, because I don't think that gets talked about in the press enough. Because what the Trump administration has been attempting to do is exploit this pandemic to accomplish certain gross agenda items that they've been trying to accomplish for a while, including gutting Social Security.
It's the Naomi Klein shock doctrine, like playing out right before our eyes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It sounds good. You're like, oh, payroll taxes get, yeah, we won't have to pay those. You're like, wait a minute.
We need those. And again, poor people don't really pay the payroll tax. Like it's like the poorest Americans don't pay the payroll tax, just flat out.
And I do want to mention, it is important to differentiate between, all right, things are functioning as they typically do, and now we're having, just a debate about whether universal basic income makes sense. Totally agree with you guys that unless you have a robust social safety net, it doesn't make sense. It's just a way of keeping, working people off the government's back. But in this pandemic, I do worry because like my husband can't work.
Yeah, like
he's a bartender.
Yeah,
he's got no work.
I guess what I think is that there has to be a way to actually utilize whether it's like specifically working with the restaurant industry or to help those bartenders or friends of mine who are waiters or caterers or all that, domestic workers. I myself am a comic, like no comedians are doing shows right now. We get paid much money, but like, is there a way to work within existing industries rather than sort of just cutting this check, which is so short-sighted and short-term?
Well, the industries are stopped. Like, that's the problem, is that there is no activity, like you said. So going through the businesses, it really is just like they're gonna take their cut.
But is it offering like restaurants a tax credit, for the year if they don't like lay off an employee? Do you know what I mean? Like something like that.
I think they should do both.
Yeah, they should do both.
Yeah, I think they should do both. And
people are getting laid off today.
Right, and keep in mind, nearly 50% of Americans can't afford a $400 emergency. Yeah. So I do think that given how the economy is completely halted because of the pandemic, people do need cash in their hands to buy groceries. So I think in the short term, it's part of what should be a more comprehensive solution.
I mean, the other obvious one is debt relief. Like it needs to be coupled with debt relief.
Agree.
I mean, no one's talking about that seriously. I mean, there's been some sort of foreclosure stalls in California and other states and stuff like that. But I mean, like no student loan payments, no rent payments, no mortgage payments. All these things have to stop because the economy. It's not that the economy is like in trouble. It's that the economy is stopped. It's like a different type of problem.
Thanks for watching the Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.